Good morning. Good morning, my beautiful friends. This is your wake up call with Maui Paul. I am Maui Paul. We are here today to say some nice things about ourselves. And while we're at it, we're here to go through the cards for the week and just to explore the journey that we all took together this week through our lives. So, good morning. Good morning. It is wonderful to see all you guys here. It's the question of the day is what went well this week? It is so important for us to realize that whatever we focus on, that's what expands. And so let's focus on what went well this week so that we can expand our consciousness in that direction. So yeah, let's see who has answered that one. It looks like yeah, Frank is saying that they got their membership renewed and saved $200. Unexpected savings rock. That is so true. And let me tell you, that membership is an incredibly good investment. What else here? What else went really well? Shauna says her discipline was strengthened this week. That's really good. Brendan Jean says lots of things went well. She got to see her friend Richard Andrew Stafford. Submitted short-term disability paperwork. Received second medical branch block. I know that is something you've been really waiting for, Brenda Jean. Taking some leadership and helping my boss to feel relieved. And your foot is healing, and that is so true. I noticed that you are out and about, Brenda Jean, that your foot is indeed healing, and it is so nice to see you. Moving around. So yeah, it is all good, Lots of good stuff happening. My week went fantastic as well. I am really settling into my new position over at work, which is exciting, and I also was able to move forward on some business stuff that I'm doing. So I feel like I am having a fantastic week, and let's celebrate it a little bit on Friday. And of course, gonna go down to the coffee shop. Right after this call. So all is well in my world. I'm glad that all is well in yours. So yeah, let's pull the final card for the week and affirm something good about us. And as we do that, we are really building into our own lives, and we are really changing the way that our consciousness works. For those of you who weren't around yesterday, I had a really good conversation with Brenda Jean, and she actually made a video about this herself, about the words I am versus the way that the words I feel, and how I am is a permanent kind of a thing, and I feel is temporary. So when we have thoughts in our head that we would like to have more of, we say I am. Things like this week, I am competent, I am artistic, I am attractive, I am industrious. And when we have things that happen in our lives or feelings that we have that we don't necessarily want to feel all the time, it becomes an I feel. I feel clumsy, I feel silly, I feel unmotivated. Because feeling is transient and being is permanent. And so let's remember that feelings are transient and being is permanent. And we on this show are in the business of improving our state of being. All right, so let's pull the card for the week. I'm going to ask you if you are, or the day, I'm going to ask you if you are the affirmation on the card. And what I'd like for you to do is to say out loud, I am that affirmation. As we say it out loud, we answer to ourselves. I am is how we answer to ourselves. So let's do that by saying that today, I am intentional. I am intentional. I act with purpose and meaning. So I am intentional. I act with purpose and meaning. Are you intentional? You are intentional. You act with purpose and meaning. And I am going to write that down into the comments. Oh, Frank slides in right before me. Once again, Frank, faster on the keyboard than I am. But I am intentional. You are intentional. We are intentional people. We act with purpose and meaning. So much of life is about intention. It's about deciding where we're going to go. It's about determination. It's about persistence. And I've noticed that there's a lot of people who are just kind of like got life on the default settings and are doing whatever it is that they, just kind of like whatever comes up during the day. In particular, being responsive or reactive to the stuff that happens in life instead of being intentional about it. And so the words I am are designed specifically to help us with that intentionality. Well, whenever I'm doing important stuff in my life and I have even a shred of self-doubt about it, I pull some I am cards and remind myself that I am. In fact, pulling these cards every morning is part of a very intentional ritual that I do to set myself up for success. So I am intentional. I act with purpose and meaning. As we go through life, we have decisions to make in every moment. How are we going to spend our time? Who are we going to spend it with? How are we going to, move forward on the things that are important to us? What are those things even? We are spoiled for choice. We have so many choices as adults. It's funny. When I was a kid, I thought that being an adult would just give me all of this incredible freedom. And it did give me incredible freedom, but it also gave me a bunch of responsibility to go along with that freedom. And when we recognize that the responsibility and the freedom go hand in hand, that there is no freedom except through some responsibility, because when we are fully free, we are ultimately responsible for every single one of our choices. And when we recognize that, that's when we can kind of come to an understanding that, okay, at this point, we have to have a we have to we have to be responsible to make that choice. And so as we are intentional, being intentional is just about making the right choices, making empowered choices, making choices that are in line and in keeping with the place that we want our lives to go. As we're captaining our own ships, as we are the masters of our own destiny, we are intentional about our choice. And so we act with purpose and meaning. And so whenever I make a choice or make a decision, I make it one of two ways. I either make it because I have an intentional larger purpose for that decision, or I make it because it's the one right in front of me and I didn't think about it much. And I find that when I make it because it's right in front of me and I didn't think about it all that much, that many times it's not a very intentional choice. But when I take just a moment and say, why am I choosing this? What benefit, what larger long-term benefit exists for me as a result of this choice? Then I make better choices. I make better decisions. And I act with purpose and meaning. I infuse my life with meaning by acting with purpose. So that's the card for today. I am intentional. We are intentional people. And I am surrounded by intentional people. Let's take a look at what the cards of the week were, and let's just kind of go on a journey through our week. We started the week with the I am competent card. I am competent. I possess the expertise to succeed. We affirmed that we already know how to do it, and that even as we do it, we're getting better at it. This allows us to be artistic in our lives because we are artistic. Our creativity finds genuine expression. Isn't that what art is all about? It's about being creative and being genuinely creative and seeing something in our head and then bringing it out into the world. And of course, as we are artistic, people are very attracted to artists, and that's why we are attractive. Our qualities draw others in. Consider that most of the celebrities that we look at or that are held up as examples of success in the world, they're all artists, every single one of them. And they're all just sort of living life on their own terms. And that is what's interesting, more so than their actual art. Everybody wants to live life on their own terms. And of course, it really helps us to do that when we are industrious. When we dedicate our time and resources effectively, it allows us to be attractive. It allows us to be artistic, which permits us to be attractive to others. And the more that we dedicate our time and resources effectively, the more competent we get at everything we do. Which takes us to the final card of the week, which is that we are intentional, that we intentionally make all of our choices so that all of the other things can more easily be true. Which takes us to the final card of the week, which is I am, and we are awesome. So let's recognize our inherent value and worth. Whether we live up to our ideals or we fall short of our ideals, the fact is that we are on this planet today to make a difference. And so let's recognize our intentional and recognize our inherent value and worth. Let's recognize that we have it just by being alive, just for being here on this planet, just for being conscious in this moment. We have a responsibility to this moment. We have a privilege to make choices in this moment, and we have the responsibility to ourselves to set us up for success in the next moment by making choices that are good for us, because we are awesome. So let's recognize our inherent value and worth. So I'm going to make an intentional trip to go hang out with people who I love and care about down at the coffee shop. So I'm going to act with purpose and meaning. I have a purpose for this coffee shop run, and it infuses my life with meaning to be surrounded by people that I love. So that's what I'm off to. I want to say thank you guys so very much for coming by and really just being with me today as we go through this process. I will be back on Monday at 9 a.m. I am once again busy on this weekend, so there won't be a nightfall on Sunday night. But I will be back on Monday at 9 a.m. with another empowering card and another whole set of cards, another set of messages throughout the week. Until then, I love you and appreciate you. We'll talk to you on Monday, or perhaps I'll see you on the weekend if you're coming by for the big party this weekend. Aloha from paradise.